Alright, it is the finals of this week's Open Cup EU server. In the top left, he is American, but he plays wherever, whenever. It is Neeb. In the bottom right, as the teal Terran, he is HeRoMaRinE. Alrighty, Roo. So, HeRoMaRinE apparently 3-0ing Lambo in fairly quick fashion. Might have had time to actually watch at least that last game. The one where Neeb went for some quick mass air style. So he should be a little more on guard against that than Clem was. Again, I'm not sure if Clem really saw what was going down for that final map. I don't think he was around in time to see how Neeb played Submarine, though. I think he was still playing against Lambo. So there is a little bit of that, like, oh, it kind of sucks. HeRoMaRinE knows more about what Neeb's plans are, but hopefully not too much. And Neeb clearly has shown us that he has a couple different plans. In fact, in that last series, all 5 games versus Clem, he did something a little bit different, it felt like, every single game. Maybe the one game where he went straight up Phoenix Colossus wasn't that weird. The 3rd game, I think. But otherwise, it was fast charge, which is a little bit off. It's not the weirdest thing, it's a little bit off. Or it was the Phoenix Colossus into the air carrier thing, right? So if he can do all of that and be a little weird, we also know that he absolutely can do 3rd gas, 3rd nexus, nothing but charge lot stalker. We know he can do the other normal things, so he's showing some flexibility, and he's showing some adventurous spirit here in today's Open Cup, which HeRoMaRinE's going to have to be on guard against, because while I still consider Neeb to be less of the weird dude, I still view him as that macro guy, and when he tries to push away from his comfort zone, it doesn't work quite as well as some other people. I think HeRoMaRinE is absolutely the macro guy who doesn't really want to change up his style. He'll acknowledge it. He will do it. Acknowledge he should try and do some of the less ideal builds. But we know how HeRoMaRinE is. We watch his stream. He's a great streamer. He'll do a build and be like, yeah, it wasn't actually that good, but it worked. I'll watch someone else do a build and be like, well, it wasn't good, but it, you know. So in this case, in this matchup, Neeb is absolutely the guy who's going to be weirder. And already changing things up again by going for his main blades. He started off with that forward gateway again. He's going to put the pressure more on HeRoMaRinE to defend and consider what he is doing. HeRoMaRinE not even going for a Reaper, it looks like. He's not going to get much scouting done because his Hellion is also, like, a little scared. It tries slip on by, only gets shot once. This Adept might try to also get a couple shots on it and just reduce the chances of it scouting because he wants to keep this a little more hidden as possible. If the Hellion runs by that Twilight Council, it might just assume that it's blink or charge. But less knowledge is better here. 2 Adepts gonna get the last shot. Last shot! Nicely done. Now that was in total 4 Adepts. In the old days, 3 or 4 years ago, you would assume Resident Enclaves is on the way. Because Resident Enclave openers and all-ins were very popular in PvT at one point. Not for some time. Not for some time. I don't think HeRoMaRinE immediately assumes that it's going to be Resident Enclaves. But that SCV Scout just saw Adepts warping in, so that was really nice. Did he notice it, though? I think he did. He's starting to wall off. Okay. So Neeb is not committing to 7 gateways. In fact, he's only committing to 3. I thought he had 4. So only 3 gateways. This actually feels kind of like something you do in PvZ nowadays, right? No, he actually goes for the shade. I didn't think he would go for it. Jumps on top of the tank, grabs that, grabs a couple of Marines, but will not be grabbing that bunker. Tries to shade into the main base, but is now going to lose access to the exits. And is going to cancel to just stand around awkwardly in the natural. That was a bold shade in. I didn't think he was going to do it. I was not prepared for that. couple more adepts from that proxy pylon coming in. This is really bold. HeRoMaRinE has lost 8 SCVs and also cannot mine from the natural, so at the end of the day, it does seem like Neeb is doing enough damage, lasting long enough that he can macro back at home. Hard on his way to Robotics Bay, getting a Warp Prism to give a little more life to these units, but a Liberator back at home is actually doing a very great job of evening up the score. 6 probes go down to the 10 SCVs. HeRoMaRinE did also lose a tank, a handful of Marines, and had more lost mining time at the end of the day, I think, but that Liberator definitely helps. A medevac full of Marines is also exiting. Adepts are going to see tanks starting to move forward, and it's got to be a little concerned of a main push. So he's going to threaten the shade into the SCVs. I don't think he'll do it, but we'll see. The come advantage was strongly in favor of Neeb, as you can see here. And his army supplies even enough. Liberator coming into the main. Where'd the Marine drop go? Here it is. Oh, Adept Shade is in. Trying to keep track of people killing workers, alright? Alright, so Adept Shade in, Adept Shade out. Get 2 SCVs. Liberator still not being sieged up. Adepts once again gonna threaten. This time they see the tanks move farther than they ever have before, and I think he's gonna have to get prepared for a push. Neeb, are you prepared? He's gonna recall the Adepts, realizing he might need every last unit possible. Colossus is here, Guardian Shield, a couple of Force Fields. I think Neeb is fine, but a Liberator is looking to do some serious damage. Marines join up with the main push, but the Colossus on top of non-combat shield Marines that slices, it dices, it kills every last bit of fodder for the tanks. Warp Prism coming in with the aggressive deployment is always a baller move. And here HeRoMaRinE is forced to evacuate, but he does choose a decent time to evacuate. Liberator seems like he got a couple of probe kills, but a decent enough pull away there from Neeb. Where are we now? Well, the supplies don't look that bad, and with even workers, you would even say it's in the Terran's favor, but do keep in mind that Neeb now has a technology that HeRoMaRinE cannot necessarily directly do something about. He's got Colossus, and there's no Vikings on the field. He's going to have to hope his tanks kind of cover him for that. And that his stim and combat shields were very, very late. Stim, 30% done, combat shields not even on the way. Adepts, Warp Prism, constantly going to be looking for that harassment. Neeb is... he's got a lot of potential here. I'm pretty sure he's going to win this game, but just because he has a lot of control and a lot of potential doesn't mean that he can't F it up. But so far, so good. Even saves the Warp Prism, has a 3rd Nexus on the way, and now just needs to keep tabs on whether or not HeRoMaRinE does a 2-base SCV pool, which I think is exactly what HeRoMaRinE is going to do. Continuing to build tanks. Some people do play a macro style with this, even go up to 2 or 3 factories, but I don't think Submarine is the map to do that on, and I don't think this type of game is the game you do that on either. So, yeah, it's going to be the 2-base all-in. We know that because 5 barracks are already on the way. They're already done. I think Neeb could even kind of determine that might be what happens just because there's so many tanks here. Neeb, I don't know if you really want to push into this, but controlling the Terran is always a nice thing to do. Scouts all 5 barracks, so either this is going to be a push with a 3rd CC on location and it gets a little bit murky about whether you can macro out of it, or it's going to be an SCV pool. And I'm thinking the SCV pool, but with the army of the Protoss already on top of you, like why, what do you even, you siege hop your tanks through the entire map? Like, that's going to be tough. He's going to try and pull Neeb's army back. Medevac in the main base is going to take care of the Stalkers. Colossus pops out, that's helpful. Couple Zealots are warped in. With the Stalkers gone, he picks up and he leaves. 2 more Medevacs head to the natural. Couple of Widowmines or Marauders in there as well. Zealots are prepared though. And Neeb is not quite giving up his position in the middle of the map. He wants to cut off the push. Force fields here are going to buy him a lot of time. He's going to actually recall his army. He didn't have to, unfortunately. So that's what HeRoMaRinE was waiting for. Now HeRoMaRinE says, thank God, finally, I can move out. And there's the SCV pool as well. So no force fields are going to stop him on a very choky map. But even without those force fields, I still think that Neeb is fine. Yeah, as long as he meets this at all before it's already open as natural, you know? If it gets here and Siege is up, okay, you're probably screwed. But just because Neeb might have missed a couple more force field opportunities doesn't mean that he still can't control the narrative of this push. He's gonna make HeRoMaRinE really work for every single inch. And, well, HeRoMaRinE just saw those zealots, so either he has to stop reinforcing or he has to just pull the rest of the SCVs and say, I don't care. Because the zealots are absolutely gonna take care of everything here. That's a lot of tanks. Neeb should still be scared. He's got to take opportunities to cut off bio whenever he can, whenever the tanks aren't close enough to help out. He starts up +2 armor, but I don't think we'll get there. Scan doesn't see the army move around, but I think he knows anyways. 4th Colossus is on the way. No blink was ever gotten. It's just that charge. Oh my god. Neeb is taking this very, very seriously, but now by going around the army, he's actually working against the chokes that he was previously working with him. And oh my god, he's gonna go for the base trade. Oh my god, it's happening. A couple Marines are digging into the probe counts, but now HeRoMaRinE has to make a decision. Does he return home or not? He's gonna return home. 2 Archons in a very weak Warp Prism trying to help out a tank in the natural, getting some surprisingly good shots. Colossus left a little bit alone back there, and the sentries are pounced upon. They didn't have that many force fields to begin with, starting to juggle the Colossus as there's only 1 Viking to tear that down. 1 Colossus will die, but 2 more. No, only 1 more is left over. No, 2 more. It was underneath the Warp Prism. I'm blind. 2 more Colossus are left over, but they gotta run away from the tanks. Gonna run up to that top side, grab a tank on the production, and grab a lot of SCVs. They're already going to be pulled into the fight anyways, but Neeb has a 4th Nexus, which I think HeRoMaRinE just scouted, and is going to take the opportunity to recall out, and I don't think there's any winning now from HeRoMaRinE. That ended up being an absolutely fantastic move for Neeb as he takes game number 1. It's a very scary decision. Very. Game number 2 is going to be on Eternal Empire. In the bottom left, up 1, he is Neeb. In the top right, as the Teal Terran, he is HeRoMaRinE. Why are you base trading a Terran? The old saying, don't base trade a Terran, isn't really true anymore. I feel like it hasn't really been true for years. Yeah. Since something else is happening, I suppose I could go into it, but... I mean, the old saying was, like, this saying literally comes from a time when 1 base Terran versus 2 base Zerg was the norm. Like, that was the game, that was it. And, you would lift your buildings, and people would be frustrated because all the maps had a ton of dead space, and they'd be like, this is stupid. Like, I feel like it hasn't been... I feel like there is not a higher percentage of victories for Terran when it comes to base races, which is what that saying kind of insinuates. I could be wrong. If someone wants to go ahead and grab thousands of, let's say hundreds of base trades and evaluate that, then, oh, you know, please do. I'd love to see it. But I don't think that's been true for a while. Like, if anything, Terrans have always had the weaker side of the base race in terms of keeping their production alive. Keeping their production available, I should say. Protoss players, they don't do so hot when their gateways are found, obviously, of course. But, generally it feels worse when a Terran player gets its 5 barracks camped by just a handful of units, right? It's all fair if you lose the barracks, if y'all lose the gateways, but what doesn't feel great is when there's literally 7 zealots and you're building 5 marines, 2 marauders at a time, and the units can't do anything. At least when you're Protoss, unless you've got depowered gateways, you can warp in anytime. Anyways. I feel like it all comes more down to if you base race a Terran, get on top of their production. That's what I think it should be. That's what the saying should be now. Bunker in the natural is very annoying, but HeRoMaRiNE's not even going to commit to it. LCD's gonna die. Reaper got very close to dying, but is gonna regen. Bunker gonna be kept alive, I guess, to threaten. I'm not really sure how much scouting it gets done, but I guess if HeRoMaRiNE doesn't need the minerals, he doesn't need the minerals. I feel like you don't base race a Zerg because they have creep spread. You don't base race a Protoss because they can warp in wherever they want. DTs as well. And you don't base trade a Terran because they have siege units, right? Like, every single one of the races has a very viable reason where you don't want to base race them, but it's not because of their race. It's because of the situations they can put themselves in. Anyways. I feel like this isn't even me being like, oh, she's such a Terran player, that's why she's like, you know, passionate about this. It's not that. It's more like I'm not a nostalgic StarCraft 2 player. And I feel like that saying comes directly from 2011 and has never bothered to be updated because someone that people loved said it. So no one wanted to update it, and it's like, okay, it should probably be updated. Anyways. We have a couple more interesting things happening now that we're in the game a little bit more. So HeRoMaRiNE's attempt at harassment has been denied. That's awesome. He has more in mind. 4 Hellions and a Reaper coming through here. No wall at the front, only a handful of units. 1 already being injured. 2 more Stalkers are going to be warped, and a shield battery is available. And it looks like HeRoMaRiNE is not going to find any success. Not even finding a Stalker kill, which would have been nice. Proxy pylon was put down by Neeb, I assume for some adept harassment in the future, as HeRoMaRiNE with the Hellion opener does have to be wary of Blink Stalker counterattacks, is building a bunker, so shouldn't have any damage taken. Building a 3rd CC way back in the far corner is delayed his starport to do so. So a bit of a trick of a normal build. Might have a medevac here, might have a Liberator paired up with it. In this case, it's a 3 CC build that is keeping all the attention on Neeb's side of the map. So hopefully Neeb isn't scouting what the actual build is. And so far, that is working. In that case, the Hellions have done their job. They've spent a lot of time on this side of the map, but now they've seen a lot of Stalkers. They don't like the sight of that many Stalkers, and they're going to go back home and build with bunkers. 2 more bunkers come up right now. Actually, it's only 3 gateways, but Neeb, either because he has been dealing with the Hellions, has built a lot of Stalkers, or was planning to build consistently from his gateways, has a lot of Stalkers. Either way, he has a decent number of Stalkers, and HeRoMaRiNE should absolutely be taking this seriously, even though it is not a parting level committal. That Wood of Mine really helps out HeRoMaRiNE. Sim already being done, also really helping out here, and this blinking was really over-aggressive from Neeb. He takes a ton of damage on his Stalkers and loses quite a few, but at least had a way to evacuate. I think he also managed to see the 3rd command center way in the back corner when he did that. Yeah, exactly. So I think he has a better idea as to what this build actually was, but not that he can really do anything about it now. He already tried being overly aggressive, and it didn't really work. Bunkers are going to be salvaged. HeRoMaRiNE now feeling confident about moving out, getting his 3rd, and is going to have slightly better upgrades for like 30 seconds. Neeb is going to find a couple SCVs in the transfer. That's always nice. While building up his own economy, not bothering to saturate all extra 3 gases. As you can see, he's going to go right for 4th base. Or no, proxy scouting pylon. I was going to say, I see that many gateways on him, like, still grab a 4th, are you sure? No. He's going to go for a big old bust. 3 bases, that's a lot of production. He's going to get the big army first, and then move on to the 4th base. Certainly not greedy, and he could either attack with this, he could actually be out on the map with this if HeRoMaRinE doesn't do it first, or he can wait for HeRoMaRinE to push into him and then absolutely clobber him to death with a mass amount of charge loss. And he's gonna have Archons. Templar Archive is gonna be done. Stalkers are looking for the actual attack here. Moving off to the left side, you see with the Xel'Naga. Charge lots have not quite been warped in high numbers yet. Neeb, what you doing there? Where's the units? There we go, more on the way. He did commit to his double forge, so certainly some of the resources have gone into that, but it is going to finish in time, since that's not HeRoMaRiNE's actual real push. Still injured, not really doing a lot of medevacs. He split up his army into 2 portions. Neeb is going to find the left side first. Try to fire down those medevacs. Not really any saving to be done there. HeRoMaRiNE saves a couple of units, and then the right side is going to be seen by an observer, and that is also going to be dealt with very easily. That is the risk you take when setting up 2 different attacks. Sometimes it's absolutely brilliant, it works out great. Other times, one is caught before the other, and you just made it a lot easier for the Protoss army to clean you up. One of mine's going to try and get some pretty decent shots, and it looks like they will. Not bad. It doesn't kill the Zealots. There's so much more behind that HeRoMaRiNE chooses the opportunity to evacuate, not try to capitalize. The Reserver over here is really obnoxious for the Terran, I must say. HeRoMaRiNE, all of his movements so far have been scouted really nicely by the Protoss, and now a Warp Prism is headed right into his main base. 2-2 is still farther ahead there for Neeb. HeRoMaRiNE had a slightly faster +1, but has certainly fallen behind thanks to good old Chrono Boost. Getting a 4th base, getting up to the Ghost upgrade, but the Zealots, not gonna be too bad. Maybe. Couple more being warped in, but I think that's about what you're gonna find. More importantly, the big attack on the front lines. HeRoMaRiNE going into the 4th base of Neeb. Couple of Widow Mines really doing long connections there. Take out basically all of the Zealots. He has to wait for his reinforcements. A couple of would-be Archons are warped in here. There we go. More Stalkers are the choice. And I think Neeb is going to be okay, but that was a little more awkward than he wanted it to be. He spent so many resources dedicating to the attack in the main base of his opponent. You know, let's consider that was 4 + 3 at least. So it was 7 or 8 Zealots. That didn't do that much. 7 SCVs is not that bad of a loss when you're on 4 command centers. Wherein alternatively, they could have been 7 more Zealots defending the units and the 4th base. I think that's one of those ones you go, oh, okay, I probably should have done that. Oh well. He's not dead yet though, but that was painful. Otherwise, this game was going quite well for Neeb. I think that was a big mistake, and then also that Widow Mine that kind of just reached 12 feet over. That did not help Neeb's army at all. He's still going to have the upgrades. Literally right now, he's going to have some upgrade leads as HeRoMaRiNE moves in. It's like a bit of an anti-timing for him. Storm is not done though, and it looks like Neeb is not going to be confident taking on that much army, especially with the EMPs being available. I think that is the right call. He's going to have to wait for the Warp Prism to really shine. Where is that Warp Prism? I saw it somewhere. Where is it now? There it is. There it is, just outside of that scan range. Ooh. A couple of Zealots in the 3rd base, nicely done. But then Widow Mine drop into the natural. Nicely done on the defense, actually. Neeb doing okay. Okay, good defense from both sides. Actually really matching each other. It was just this one fighter on the 4th that didn't go so well for Neeb. He's going to take this opportunity now to blink forward and go after the fight. EMP on top of mostly Stalkers is not really what you want to do. And a lot of Storms are threatening that army. Some on the ground, some on the Warp Prism. HeRoMaRiNE is finally pushed back home so that Neeb can get his 4th base up. It was not a freebie, though. It's not a comfortable position for Neeb, but he thinks he can control the game a little bit more. He sees with the Observer the army entirely move back into these chokes. Maybe going to try and take advantage of that. HeRoMaRiNE moves forward, try and get some decent EMPs. They're going to lose a couple of Ghosts instead. Good blink forward there from Neeb. Planetary is already finished off the left side, so that's going to be a really nice position to hold. I don't think Neeb's going to try and go up this choke. That's just way too dangerous. But he is controlling the game as of now. His 4th base is almost done. He has stopped his upgrades. His economy is kind of hurt, and he thinks he finds an opportunity. I can't believe he's actually going to go for it through the middle natural trope. That is such a dangerous thing to do when someone is prepared for this. The concave from the Terran player is excellent. The EMPs are excellent, and this is a straight-up disaster. Neeb taps out. HeRoMaRinE bringing back the series to a 1-1 score. That was a little overconfident there by Neeb. I didn't realize Wardy stopped commentating. On to Pillars of Gold for game number 3. The bottom left, as the red Protoss, he is Neeb. And in the top right, as the teal Terran, he is HeRoMaRinE. Man, how did that last game even start? Oh yeah, the Reaper thing. I mean, Neeb had that moment where he found half of HeRoMaRinE's army on the left side. That looked pretty good for him, but HeRoMaRinE still had good macro. Still had enough army to push that 4th base. And I guess Neeb felt like he was too far behind not to take a chance when he saw it. I don't think he had to move up that ramp, so I assume he thought he saw something. But kind of funnily enough, it was reflected in the earlier Blink Stalker attack. He thought he saw an opportunity and ended up getting all of his stalkers partially destroyed. And I think if Neeb had not gone up that natural and Eternal Empire with the last fight, I think he would have had certainly a decent chance at taking the game back. But whatever he saw, it wasn't right. It wasn't right. Just got obliterated. He was literally like 80 supply down at the end of that last game. So, yeah, mistakes were made. And on to game 3. Pillars of Gold is where we saw Neeb try out his carrier play first against Clem. Will he do it again? He's been liking these forward gateway positioning, even when he's not really committing a lot to it. I guess committing a lot to it is a couple different levels of that, isn't there? There's Cybernetic Core before Nexus, which is kind of the common thing to do anyways. And then there's Chrono once on a Adept, Chrono twice on 2 Adepts, Chrono thrice. There's proxying a gateway while also putting a forward gateway. But anyways, so there's going to be a double Chrono. So he wants to do some damage with this. Delays your warp gate. Especially if you're going to go for a Stargate right after. Wow. So I don't know if he'll really be that committed with the Adept. I figure if you're going to go for this fast of an Adept into this fast of a Stargate, you kind of want to do the Adept Oracle play. It would be even better if he was proxying the Stargate. Ooh, HeRoMaRinE playing with fire, but not going for a bunker. Okay. Bunker? No? No? Oh, no bunker. That's dangerous. Getting a Hellion does help you against these early, not super committed pokes from the Protoss, but I would still be scared. Oh, he's gonna do it, guys. I see a Phoenix on the way. He's gonna do it. We're gonna see Fleet Beacon eventually. And this is actually... I mean, I kind of would have preferred if Neeb had been ultra aggressive, hoping that there was another 3cc build, because there is. But, you know, you can't know that. In this case, it's still probably good for Neeb as long as he does get an eventual scout on the 3rd CC. Ah, this is one of the adepts. That wasn't great. This didn't go as well as he was hoping it would. Anyways, as long as he gets a scout in the 3rd CC, this is still a situation I think Neeb would be comfortable with. There's two answers to it, right? If your opponent's going greedy, you either go super attack-oriented. I mean, it's still scout from the Hellion, but... I like it. So either you go super attack-oriented, and you try and actually bust the guy for being too greedy, or you say, oh, you're being greedy? Great, I'm gonna be greedy. And I don't think Neeb is opposed to saying... Oh, great, I'm gonna be greedy too. That's actually usually where Neeb's comfort zone is. Especially if he's gonna do some weird-ass carrier shit again. And it's only weird because it is so fast. And it is so devoted to the carrier, not any Tempests. But I think that's what we're gonna see again. HeRoMaRinE is moving out with a very small force, handful of Marines and a Cyclone. But there is not much here for Neeb. Cyclone finds one of the Phoenixes, is gonna get the kill. Oh, good micro! Love it. I love it. Good micro. So good. So good. Mwah. Did the little, like, Italian thing right there. That was great. For those of you wondering what type of ping Neeb experiences when he does this type of stuff, as far as I know, he's 1 part machine in that he just plays a hell of a lot and no matter what ping, and 2 part, he just has good internet. He's on the east coast of America, and I think he's technically some of the closest you can be to Europe without actually being in Canada. Yeah, so, yeah. I also think he has good internet, though. I used to live in a place that had 1,000, and I actually never experienced ping, basically. And I didn't cherish that enough. Damn. Anywho, just in case anyone's wondering. Another lock-on does not get a Phoenix. So far, very good control from Neeb. So, he sees the command center lift off, but it looks like he did see it a while ago, too, when it was building. So, he's known about it for a while. How does that change up what he does? I mean, sometimes you see someone, if they scout it fast enough, they can get a faster 3rd Nexus. You see it kind of fast, maybe you add on double forge instead of single forge. So on and so forth, right? Because Neeb's ultimate desire is to get to that Fleet Beacon Fleet Beacon play. There's a lot of sounds there. I think that he does it because you don't go for double forge. He doesn't want double forge. So then, what do you do? Faster gases? More chronos on probes? I don't know, actually. I have not analyzed this in comparison to what he did versus Clem enough to know exactly what he's changed up, knowing his opponent wasn't going to kill him. But it was probably something. Just didn't catch it. So he's on Phoenix Colossus. He hasn't lost the Phoenix, which if you remember, versus Clem on Pillars of Gold, he lost a lot of his Phoenix and a lot of his army. So now we're going to have to determine what's better. HeRoMaRinE not being attacked and getting his build basically straight up. Very few distractions in this 8-minute game, and thus a very strong attack on 3 bases. Or Neeb not getting attacked and getting 3 bases and getting to what he wants to do. I feel like HeRoMaRinE does better. Because there it is. Fleet Beacon's on the way. If Neeb is going to go for carriers, those are not going to help when the push actually comes. I feel very strongly about this. If HeRoMaRinE pushes, though, I guess is the caveat. If HeRoMaRinE just goes, oh, I guess we're doing this, and gets a 4th base and 2 starports and blah, 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 then whatever. But, I mean, he has a 3-base build where he attacks with, like, a maxed-out army almost. Like a 180 army, and he just obliterates the opponent off the face of the earth. But my god, is he just not going to do that? If he doesn't push, then yes. Congrats to Neeb for getting to carriers. But carriers, they have to be in like a good number. They have to wait for the interceptors to build. They really want to have +1 flyer attack. Alright, there's the push. Okay then, so yeah. Yeah, this is what I was thinking of. He's waiting for the +1 armor. He's around 180 supply. And how does Neeb handle this, considering he's developed so much to the Stargates that aren't even helping him right now? Like, how much more do 2 or 3 more Phoenix help him here? They don't, right? They don't. One Colossus goes down for the lock-on, actually, the Cyclone. Other Colossus gets to about half health and might die to the tank. It actually does. And Neeb, even if he hadn't lost the Colossus, I mean, what does he even do in the situation? Absolutely nothing. This seems like this seems like a build order win. Honest to God, it seems like a build order win. This is like way too easy for HeRoMaRinE. GG. Well, I'm glad that went to my expectations and I proved that I'm kind of smart. Yeah, I think Neeb was really hoping that he would have even more time. But as macro-oriented as HeRoMaRinE can be, no Terran player usually wants to play without a push. You gotta expect a push. And with that build, that push. So apparently 9 minutes is when it hit, around that time. So I don't think there's a way to do the fleet beacon thing against that build. I can't think of when that would be. Like, you get the carriers out faster, that's not going to help you. You have 2 carriers with no upgrades and like 7 interceptors, like they're not helping you. The Terran army laughs at that. I think you just have to you have to not do it. I really do. You instead go for charge and storm and you know, all the typical stuff. So I don't know. Yeah. Neeb did all the right moves as far as, you know, with the things he had. You should try to meet them halfway and buy time. So I can't fault him for that, but I think just as far as the build goes, you can't do that. Well, anyways. Fascinating things happening in today's cup. Fascinating. In the upper left, on Death Aura, we have Neeb. And on the bottom right, as the blue Terran, he is HeRoMaRinE. Thank you, Even Dal, for the 513 sub. Casting Starcraft is great training for doing tongue twisters. Well, no one trains to do tongue twisters. Tongue twisters train you to do speaking better. Reverse your sentence. Stargate weak at the moment? I mean, that wasn't his problem. It's like you watched this bulb. You got a little tomato plant, you got a tomato plant bulb, and you watched it grow up into a gorgeous, beautiful plant with lots of offshoots and all the tomatoes growing. And then you cut the stem, and you looked at it, and you went, "Fucking bulb. This was a bad plant to begin with. God darn it." And I'm just like, what are you doing? I don't think Stargate openers and Stargate Phoenix Colossus is actually that bad. There's things you when you choose to go for that and you get the scouting, because Stargate gives you a lot of scouting, and that's actually fantastic. There's things you can do to make sure that you don't die to whatever they're doing. You can go for the greedier build. You can go for the greedier technology. You can go for positioning. It's Neeb wanting to prove something with that fleet beacon. It almost feels like he wants that to be a thing. That's where he went wrong. Alright, yeah, I mentioned last game I would love to have seen a proxy Stargate, and here we see it. Not the same adept pressure, though. So no forward gateway, just blocking out the Reaper, actually. Which, HeRoMaRinE didn't even go for a Reaper. He's gonna go into a faster second barracks after the factory, so the PvP version of a 2-1-1. And, it's gonna have an okay time Cyclone, no? Actually, no. Let's go with the Tech Lab, and then, well, he's not gonna go for a Cyclone anyway. So this could be a little bit dangerous. The Oracle should get some damage done. No bunker once again from HeRoMaRinE. This time a Stalker's gonna really be able to use that. We got a nice disruptor shot, he would have won. I don't think so. There was actually just way too much Terran army. Proxy Stargate's not going to be found. Corona boosting that out. Headed right towards that main base, and there are Hellions on the way, not Widow Mines. Limited Marine production back at home, and these Marines are actually headed off with the Hellions, which are still not scouting that Stargate. They're going to scout the Oracle, funnily enough. Oh my good god. Oh my god, 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 oh my god. How is he still not scouting this? Are you serious right now? He's waiting for 2 Oracles. Oh, I thought he was gonna bypass it here. Oh no. Oh no. Alright, so Neeb has to defend against this thing. This could get kind of weird, guys. There's not a lot of production back at home for Neeb either. No shield battery. Adept's gonna die to a couple of Hellions. Oracle's forced to come back home. It's gonna reveal its proxy. But it has to come back home so it doesn't take more damage. As the Hellions, 4 of them coming in. They're injured, but they're still alive. Trying to bop. One of them gets 1, gets 2. Actually taking down the lethalness of those Hellions quite a bit. Third one goes down. Fourth one is still alive. The Oracle dies before it can kill it. 7 probes so far have died, and more warp-ins finally available. Those warp gates were so late. Adepts will clean up every last little bit, but oh. It got weird. It got weird. Oracle comes into the main base. Is there a Widow Mine? There is not, so some revenge is to be had, but because it 3-shots workers, the SCV pool is pretty effective against an Oracle. Not as effective against those Hellions. Third Oracle? Wait, is that the third one? Yeah, that's, well, yeah, because the first one died. I mean, he's got potential. Well, zap, 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 you know, 5 SCVs, not bad, not bad. Oracle did see the Widow Mines, but did he see it? Ooh, that's gonna be solid. Neeb comes out, 6 workers ahead, grabbing a 3rd Nexus before grabbing his Robo. That was scary. That was scary for both of them. Trying to do speaking better? Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. Did I stutter? Sim is done, combat shield is being worked on, but this build does not have a very fast +1. Oracle swoop in to get a couple more SCV kills. Don't know if he would think of this push. He didn't see it. Is he thinking about it? With all the scouting he's done in the main base, I think he could determine it was a 2-1-1 in the order of things that HeRoMaRinE did it, but now yeah, he sees it. This is one of the Oracles, but he has been warping in, so just continues to do so. Shield battery is a little bit later, though. Ooh, that's a little scary. I think he's okay. We're still talking about combat shieldless Marines. Upgradeless, too, and we're so used to seeing upgrades, but oh, the bamboozle! Even I got bamboozled. 7 probes go down to the main base, and a Widow Mine in the natural. Oh, the warp in is not gonna be... Okay, 9 probes in total go down. And at least this Phoenix will ensure the death of the medevac. That's something. And Neeb has taken a bit of a batter, and he's not gonna get the medevac. Oh, okay, yeah, it's kind of not going well for Neeb. He doesn't die, but 9 probes going down. That hurt. That hurt. He's trying to get to robotics bay now, but he doesn't have blink. He doesn't have any Phoenix. He's 1. Taking a big chance here by cutting out that anti-air. And not just anti-air. Again, cutting out the option of the Stalkers being in the middle of the map trying to stall out a push. Can't do that. Not that effectively. What a scary place for you to be in. Starts up +1 armor, but as HeRoMaRinE did not have a very fast +1 attack, that +1 armor is just really late. HeRoMaRiNE's still gonna have that upgrade lead. Doesn't care about finding the Stargate, it looks like. Not worried about harassment warp-ins. Phoenix sees a lot of army moving forward, and Neeb knows he's gonna have to defend right here, right now. Overcharge is available for the shield battery, I assume, and Colossus will be on the way, maybe in time, but it's not really in time. The Colossus needs to be here to take advantage of the ramp. It's not here to do so. The force fields aren't even, okay, second one finally comes down, but the tank is still in place to actually hit some of these units. More units coming across the force fields as well, and I think this is going to be it. There's the Colossus. The Colossus would have helped so much with those Marines, but GG. HeRoMaRinE with a 3-1 over the NA Hope. Proves that he is still the winner of these tournaments. It's still the big Gabe Weekly. He's too damn good. GG.